In 1968, hundreds of people came together to begin a protest about fair housing and discrimination. This was known as the Chicago Freedom Movement. This movement also tried to get rid of covenant rules, which were rules that forbid homeowners to sell to minorities, including African Americans, Jews, Italians, etc. People took to the streets, broke windows, and burnt down houses in response to being treated unfairly. Imagine how they felt not being able to have a set home, or even one that is set but cockroach infested like we saw in a Raisin in the Sun. People all over knew something needed to change. The Chicago Freedom Movement was all about fair housing. There were multiple tactics to try to get fair housing for all people. Martin Luther King Jr. decided to help to the cause of the Chicago Freedom Movement. To help the cause, King organized a march along State Street in 1966. Dr. King also led a peaceful march in Chicago's Marquette Park to get this Fair Housing Act passed. I have seen in many demonstrations all across the South, but I can say that I've never seen, even in Mississippi and Alabama, mobs as hostile and as hate-filled as I have seen here in Chicago, he said. All of these protests were for a reason: to get the Fair Housing Act passed. This would lead to ending of housing discrimination. This means that all race and religion would be treated equally. This gives people more opportunity where they want to live because it does not allow discriminating against religion and race and more. A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry shows life before the Fair Housing Act from the perspective of a poor black family in Chicago, 1959. Originally, the Youngers lived in a cramped two-bedroom apartment that was not fit for a family of 5. Lorraine Hansberry brought an early case on covenants in Chicago to the Supreme Court. She lived, fought, and wrote about the Chicago Freedom Movement. Mama's dream was to buy a big 2-story house with a yard for her family. Because this was before the Fair Housing Act, but the Supreme Court had banned covenant rules that forbid homeowners from selling to blacks and often minorities. The Chicago Freedom Movement was a movement to repair the homes by redirecting the rent of the residents away from absentee landlords who did not repair the homes. If you're experiencing tenant issues, call 1-888-995-4673. Let's live up to the values that Martin Luther King tried to bring to the civil rights movement.